Hello, I'm Henry Miller, author of The Serious Pursuit of Happiness, Everything You Need to Know to Flourish and Thrive. Now in this video, entitled What Happiness Is, I want to talk with you about the multitude of opinions and definitions of what happiness means, what people think it is, what their opinions are. As you know, probably by now, happiness is one of the most sought after of the human conditions. It's also one of the most elusive. Almost everyone at some point in time or another in their lives has wished for it. It's the rarest, most prized, and yet often most misunderstood state of being. Now, opinions about what happiness is have been around since the earliest civilizations. Philosophers from all ages ponder it. Poets and songwriters celebrate it. Movie makers, playwrights, advertisers, and politicians routinely promise it. It's a universal goal and a wish since the beginning of time on our planet. Some examples. Aristotle, the famous Greek philosopher, said, "Happiness is the meaning and purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence." Cicero, a Roman philosopher, believed in a life of intelligent reflection, and as a wise man, he said, "There is no fool who is happy, and no wise man who is not." A wise man, that's Cicero. In the centuries since then, some sages have suggested that happiness comes from living a virtuous life. Some say from indulging in pleasures. Some say it's from knowing the truth. Some say it comes from preserving illusions. Some say it comes from restraint. Others say from purging oneself of pent-up rage and misery. The father of psychology, William James, believed that happiness is the secret motive that drives everyone. On the other hand, Charles Schulz, creator of the famous Peanuts comic strip, said, "Happiness is a warm puppy." The Dalai Lama has said that he believes happiness is the very purpose of life and that the very motion of our life is towards happiness. As a matter of fact, in Japan, up until 1987, for $2.10 US, on the northernmost island of Hokkaido, you could buy a ticket to happiness, literally, a ticket to happiness. The happiness station was, in Japanese, Koufuku Eki, forgive my pronunciation, but it was the northernmost railway depot on the island of Hokkaido, so you could buy a ticket to happiness. How cool was that? Even the United Nations has gotten in the act. They once created a 12-point list of prerequisites for being happy, and this included one radio, one bicycle, and one set of kitchen utensils per family. Now, famously in the United States in 1776, the Declaration of Independence guaranteed citizens of the United States certain unalienable rights, including famously life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we've been at it ever since. Happiness is a global topic of study. In fact, if you go to the World Database of Happiness, you can find that it's tracked and reported in countries around the world. As a matter of fact, in 1972, in the small, remote kingdom in the Himalayas of Bhutan, they began tracking gross national happiness, an index that they used to measure the amount of good governance that they were receiving, or bad governance. This goes along with GDP, a more familiar indicator, gross domestic product. So they've been measuring gross national happiness. As a matter of fact, there's a number of nations right now that are considering doing the same thing. And on an individual level, most of us, if we're really asked if we'd like to be happy, we respond somewhere along the lines of, "Sure, just tell me what to do." And as parents, if you've had the opportunity to be a parent yet, or if it's in your future, when asked what we want for our children, invariably we end up saying, "Well, I just want them to be happy." Now, the good news is that social science has now mostly agreed on a definition. And happiness is self-reported subjective well-being. What does that mean? Well, self-reported means it's valid when you fill out usually a questionnaire and you're asked how happy you think you are. That's been verified as being valid. Subjective means, in your opinion, that's been verified as being valid. And well-being refers to a measure of happiness that has two, in fact, different durations of time. There's the short-term bursts of joy and even ecstasy that we all know make us feel happy. And there's the longer-term feeling of satisfaction and contentment, a feeling that everything is okay with our life. Both of these factors are a part of what our overall well-being would be like, along with emotional well-being, spiritual well-being. But there's these two different dimensions. This is key for you in your serious pursuit of happiness, because neither the short-term bursts of happiness alone, nor the long-term feelings of satisfaction and contentment alone are sufficient to feel sustainably happy. So, when you're on your journey to create a happier and more fulfilling life for yourself, you need to make sure that you have a balance, both of short-term happiness producers in your life, as well as the longer-term feelings for sustainable happiness that lasts for the much longer duration of time. All right, I hope this has helped you. If you'd like to learn more and be serious about learning more, what you need to know to flourish and thrive, please look for me in my other videos. Until then, be your best self, love and be loved, and live a life that matters.